Well, hello everyone. Hey, I've changed my name from Smelling Amazing because my wife has said, no, you're an absolute fragrance nut. So I thought about it. She's absolutely right. So there it is, the fragrance nut. Hey, if this is your first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a brand that I became familiar with more than 25 years ago, and I believe it was Epic Man. And I actually blind bought that because the internet was just kind of coming on. So I trusted a company out of, I believe it was Portland, Oregon, the Perfume House. And I actually blind bought that. After that, I became very familiar with all the different fragrances out of Oman. And that one we're going to talk about today is Reflection Man. And I believe it came out in 2007, but I became familiar with it perhaps, I believe it might have been 2009. And then now we have a current Reflection 45. And I want to compare them. You tell me if you've done that. And what do you think? Who has the best? The new guy or is it the OG? So let's get into it. And by the way, I always tell you where I grab my decants and then I let you know if it's full bottle worthy. So we have Reflection 45. And we have Reflection Man. Okay, so how do they compare? Let's see. And also, back in 2009, I would say that I did get a similarity of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male, which came out in 1995 and by the nose, everyone knows, and that is none other than Francis Kurkdjian. So let's talk about this one. And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, 45 has even more in common with Le Male from 1995. We ought to compare that too. I have an idea which is better. I may even mention it at the end. So let's get started. In Reflection Man, well, I got my notes here. We have some, it's a floral, fresh and sweet, powdery and woody. We have bitter orange, we have red or pink pepper, and we have rosemary. That rosemary will probably give it some of the spice. And the bitter orange or orange blossom, as is mentioned in 45. At the mid, we have neroli, we have jasmine, we have iris, and lang-a-lang. And that's where it's going to give it its sweetness and its powdery from the iris, or some people call it orris root. And that's the way it's mentioned, I believe, in 45. There's orris root, but it's still iris. And then in the base, we have sandalwood. We have Virginia cedar wood. In most cases, if you see cedar, there's only two places you're going to think of. And that is, if it's out of the good old USA, then it's Virginia. And then Italy would be Morocco cedar. And then it has Haitian vetiver. And we don't have to guess where that's from. And then patchouli. And the nose behind both of them, 2007 and even the current 2001, this one that came out in 2021, is none other than Lucas Sayuzak. So how does it compare to 45? 45, he threw, in my opinion, the kitchen. He threw the whole sink. You know that phrase. I'm bad with that. But anyway, there's benzoin at the top. And there's cardamom, there's clary sage, there's lavender, there's pink pepper, and there's juniper berry. So all we see in Reflection Man that has anything in common is the pink pepper. Then in the mid, here we go with where they do kind of contrast the two. They both have iris, they have jasmine, neroli. However, it has angelica, tonka bean, and vanilla, where Reflection Man does not. And then in the base, there's myrrh, sandalwood, cedarwood, frankincense, open-axe, patchouli, and vetiver. Again, we have open-axe, frankincense, and myrrh, which is not in Reflection Man. So they, in my opinion, are quite different in smell. Uh, in my opinion, the Reflection Man is a little more sweeter, a little more pleasant to my nose, even though, yes, it can slightly remind you of Lamar. But in my opinion, this Reflection Man is better than Lamar. Lamar, in my opinion, it had lavender, and most men fragrances are lavender. I'm not a big lavender fan. And that's what it does give its freshness, though. When they add the lavender, that gives that barbershop feel. And I don't have a lot of hair, so I don't need to go to the barber yet. Anyway, and it's even, in my opinion, $100 more. Is that actually worth $100 more? And in my opinion, it does not smell as good as the OG. I put my money on Reflection Man any day. If you smell the two, how do you compare it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to know, because maybe I'm missing something. I'll go back and check it out, do a fresh spray, give it another go, see if is it actually worth it. But in my opinion, I do not think so. How do they both compare to the Lamar, which came out in 1995? Lamar had the cedar. They both have cedar. Yeah, there's orange blossom. They both have that. There's sandalwood. They both have that. Where things fall slightly different is the lavender, the vanilla, the tonka bean. And all of those are current, both 45 and the old 1995 Lamar. And so, in my opinion, Reflection Man 45 doesn't pass the smell test of being worth $100 more. Doesn't smell as good as the Reflection Man, in my opinion. I did wear Reflection Man back a year ago for my birthday. I was back home in Detroit, and I went to the mall and I sprayed it on. Now, they both last all day. I will give it that. But to me, Reflection Man is more playful. Reflection 45 is a much more serious fragrance, and it's not as sweet to my nose. And that's why I have to walk away from Reflection Man, because I really like the sweetness. It's not overly sweet in Reflection Man, and I just like the way it comes off. It's a real nose orgasm to anyone that's around. And so anyway, hey, thanks for listening to me, in my opinion. Hey, hit the like button, subscribe. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Have you tried the two? A couple of places to go check it out. If you need a decant, go to twistedlily.com or Perfume de France, like France.com. They have really good deals on decants. That's where I get them sometime before I pull the trigger. Anyway, always remember, keep smelling good. I will. Bye.